Welcome back to the Wizard Shop, and today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't buy Nissans. What are you guys doing here anyway?
Just an oil change and standard, turbo rebuild every 90,000 miles.
So you just show up at people's shops and service your cars?
Yeah, and make a big mess.
Not people's shops, your shop.
That's a flattering angle, by the way.
It really is. Hi.
On to the Volkswagen. So here we are back at the Volkswagen. This is a 2017 Volkswagen Golf R, and it's really cool. So while they're over there working and getting their truck back on the road, and I do apologize for the noises, it's windy today, we're going to take a look at this really cool Golf R. I know you guys are going to love this. Let's open the hood. Here we have the 2-liter TSI turbo 4-cylinder. This thing's really quick. It has 292 horsepower, 280 pounds of torque. 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, and a quarter mile in 13.2. And with some modifications, it can blow those numbers out of the water.
That's pretty impressive for a hatchback.
Yep. At least this one's not a oil type filter, that's a dry one, so that's a good. This one's in pretty good shape. It doesn't have a ton of miles on it. It's 2017, like I said. But to let you guys take a look at the engine, there's really nothing wrong nothing that we're doing under here, but I thought let you guys see what it looks like. Here we see the 4 ignition coils. Here's our crankcase vent valve. This is direct injection, so there's our injectors over there. Here's our high pressure pump. Really wouldn't be too hard to work on this one. Everything's pretty accessible right there. The turbo is literally right there. Easy to get to. Really a neat little engine. It kind of reminds me of War Turtle, Mrs. Wizard.
It is cute.
So luckily this isn't a BMW. This is a VW. And although it's a lot better than a BMW, when this thing gets close to 100,000 miles or more, all these little plastic pieces will get brittle and things will start breaking down on it. It's just kind of expect that with these cars. But if they're maintained with oil changes and services and everything, they're actually not too bad. A lot of those issues that they do have will be lessened, but they're still going to happen. So the reason why it's here is we just put 4 new rotors, all new brake pads. Also, we checked his antifreeze, and we installed one of his headlight washers. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So let's get this car up on the lift and take a look underneath. So before we get started, I'll mention that this did have like a chin spoiler on here that was cracked and broken. The customer said when you take the bumper off to take care of the headlight washer, go ahead and take that thing off and discard it. So you can see little screw holes where it used to be, but it was all cracked and broken and it didn't look very good. We'll move on back to here. We'll look from the belly pan forward and we can see the radiator up in there. No leaks. Everything looks good there. Here's our nice honeycomb oil pan. I imagine they did that for strength. Looks like a bunch of wasps have been in here and made an oil pan. There's a little bit of seepage there, but it's not too bad. Very likely valve cover gasket on a Volkswagen. Don't have to worry about brakes and rotors because it has brand new rotors and EBC red stuff pads. We'll go ahead and check. And nothing's loose there. Sway bar links are good. CV shaft boot is good. Everything looks good there. Looks like this wheel's been repaired before with welds. Maybe it got chipped really hard and not too sure what happened there, but it's holding air, I suppose. We'll take a look at this side. Again, the brakes have already been done. CV boots look good. Ride height sensor is intact. Sway bar link is good. Back here, look to the back side of the motor. Looks like there is a mount torn here. The customer has a new mount, but they said, don't worry about it. He'll take care of that. So I'll let him take care of it. Everything looks nice and dry up in there. Here we see the drive shaft going to the rear. That flex disc looks good. Okay. That aftermarket exhaust on it. That's why it's kind of loud. There's our drive shaft. And then this disc looks good as well. It has kind of a harmonic balancer on it to absorb vibrations. There's a control module, a rear differential. The CV boots look good. The ride height sensor is in good shape. It looks like it's had lowering springs put on it, these blue springs. The brakes have also been done back here. It's got pads and rotors all taken care of. I'll go ahead and check for looseness. That's a tiny little boot in there, Mrs. Wizard.
He's just adorable.
Tiny little shaft. Go to this side. Nothing loose there. Car's really in pretty good shape. Check the sway bar link, it's good. We'll check this one as well. It's good. This is an aftermarket exhaust. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it sounds pretty good. Looks like a big mailbox. It actually looks like a mailbox. Look at that, guys. The side profile of it. Interesting. The tires look good. They got nice deep tread on them. So like I said, we did the brakes on this. All new rotors, all new pads. The customer supplied the parts on those, so we just charged in the labor. It also had, I'll show you guys, it had a headlight washer that was damaged. We'll take a look at that. So as you can see, the little cap is missing here. It's supposed to be a body colored cap. The customer has that at home. They said they'll take care of that. But you see a little white cap here, and this comes out when it receives pressure and sprays your headlamps. This is what the old one looked like. It was damaged. Whenever it would try to work, it would just spray everywhere. So the customer gave us a new one, and he said, yeah, just go ahead and throw that on for us. But it's not so simple on these. It's not like you can just unbolt this right here and pull the old one out. The entire bumper had to come off. So this probably wasn't a very expensive part, but you got to think the labor involved. We charge $125 an hour for these. It'd take a couple hours to get all this apart and get the bumper off, get this replaced, put it all back together, and verify it works, everything is good to go. A couple hours is easily gone by after you get all that done. So the cost, the labor to get this done is going to be way more than the part is. So it's not that big of a deal to do, but it costs quite a bit, $250 to replace this little guy. One of the reasons we also took the bumper off, we suspected if there was damage to this old one, we wanted to inspect all the hoses and lines that are inside the bumper to make sure they're not cracked or broken, because it's just very brittle corrugated tubing, and it doesn't take anything to snap that in half. So we wanted to make sure that was all intact, and it was. It's in good shape. So once we verified that, got the new one installed, bumper back on, and I suppose the customer will take care of the rest. There is so much room for more on these Volkswagens, and I have someone who knows all about that. Jared.
Are you calling Jared?
Jared from Wrench Every Day.
Oh, you're not getting me a new ring?
No, it's not a jewelry commercial.
I was hoping.
We didn't go to Jared.
I was hoping.
We called Jared.
Called me in.
Yeah.
I'm here to help.
What kind of options do you think on this 2.0 TSI motor?
So this is really kind of a powerhouse car. They come fairly well from the factory, but almost tame, but with simple bolt-ons. The exhaust, basically what your customer has.
Yeah.
The exhaust, the ECU tune, do some suspension mods, and you have a car that you can take on the mountain carving roads, road course days. That is just a ton of fun. It won't be the fastest thing, but for a hot hatchback, like it's blistering quick. It's easy to fall into the trap of too much.
Right.
Like you do a little bit and you get addicted to that powered, so then you go a little bit more, and then soon you're making all kinds of questionable choices and you've blown your engine. But this is one that if you just do basic exhaust, the ECU tune, Cobb, there's all kinds of options available for race use only, never on the street.
It looks like it has an APR downpipe or something on it.
Yep. So what that does is it frees up the exhaust flow. They're available both with high flow cats and without high flow cats for racetrack use. Again, the hard cap on these are the direct port injection. It's been around long enough that there's options to add larger direct port injection. Sometimes you add additional fuel injectors. But again, to me, this car, it doesn't need it. When you get over 500 horsepower in this chassis, it becomes less fun to drive.
Right.
It's definitely a case where less is more.
Right.
It's factory turbo, or you can go to a slightly larger turbocharger, which will move more air with less effort, but then you lose some of that low-end response and quick spool. So again, your guy has done a great job setting it up with the suspension that's on it, the big powerful brakes, and all the bolt-on. And if I was building one, this is kind of the direction I'd go, because too much, you blow it up, and then you're stealing someone's shop to fix your truck while you're just trying to go home.
Right. So stock, they had 292 horsepower. With the mods, he has just the mild mods. He's over 300, I'd imagine.
Depending on what tune he has, he might be very close to 400 horsepower. They respond so well to that ECU tuning and freeing up the airflow that, and this is the dual clutch as well, right?
Yes, DSG.
So they are so much fun. And again, that is the sweet spot for the car, and it's blistering quick. I've seen some of them under 11 seconds with these mod in the quarter mile. Some people with a little bit more into the 10s and high 9 seconds, which is kind of ridiculous because you look at the car and you don't expect it to be that fast of a little grocery getter, and that's what's fun about them.
I think it's a neat little car. I had a little 2004 Beetle. You remember the silver one? I called War Turtle. It was a Turbo S Beetle. It was so fun. It had the 1.8 and it had a tune, and I think it was around 275 horse or 260, somewhere around there.
And in the world of modern cars, that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you put it in such a lightweight package, it's just fun.
It is fun. One nice thing about having that much power, if it were just a front-wheel drive, it would just spin the wheels. But
it just chirps and bounce, and you don't go anywhere. But
this one has all-wheel drive, so at least it can get some power to 4 wheels instead of 2.
Yeah, all 4 wheels work well, again, for drag racing launch. And the computer system is smart, too, that when you're in the corners and the rear starts to slide, it starts directing the power around to make it just, again, a lot of fun to throw around and drive like you shouldn't be driving a Volkswagen Golf, but this is a Golf R, so that's how you're supposed to drive it. Ridiculous.
It didn't need a whole lot, but I thought we'd do a video for you guys and let you check this car out. I know you guys are going to love it. So I won't keep you from your Nissan. I'll let you get back to your powerhouse over there.
Yeah, the work truck that will hopefully get us back to Georgia and Florida almost ready to start, so we'll see.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, thanks. So that sounds pretty good, guys. I imagine this thing sounds really good under full boost, really getting after it. But let's take a look at the interior before we close this video out. So as you can see, it has roughly 37,000 miles. The gauges and everything on here look really cool. And you can see by the paddles on it, it has the DSG transmission, which is a really good transmission. It's in good shape. The dash is not all cracked up, which I wouldn't expect it to be. It's fairly new. There's the R shifter. It says R on the side. The seat's in good shape. These are like a sports seat with side bolsters. Here's the mount I was talking about that the customer mentioned that they would take care of. It's hard to see the headliner in here, guys, because it's so dark in here. Everything's gray or black. But the headliner's in good shape. The back seats are in very good shape. It's almost like a new car in here. It's very nice. This is a really cool way to open this hatch. You push the emblem and lift up. There's a nice little storage area. The seats fold down flat. It's almost like a miniature station wagon. These are really cool cars. I really like them. I could definitely drive this every day.
It'd make the trip to the grocery store super fast.
Yep, it definitely would. Let's take a look around the car. So it's kind of dirty and dusty. The customer drove it up here. It has some aftermarket wheels on it, OZ wheels. I'm not sure what size they are. Let me look. These are 20s. You can see the new rotors and pads in there. They've got spacers on it to fill the wheel wells nicely. It looks really good. They did a good job. No dents or dings along this side. There's our R emblem. Nothing damaged up here. Car's in really pretty good shape. The front, as you guys already know, it's missing the cap for the headlight washer. It's got the blacked out emblems. for the R model. Has lots of little chips and things. For only 37,000 miles, there's a lot of chips on the hood. Maybe it sees a lot of highway driving where there's sand on the road. No damage over here. Sides look good. All around, a very nice car. So thanks for following along and checking out this really cool Golf R. So I'm not seeing a lot of these in the shop, and this one's new enough. It's just now out of warranty. It's exceeded both the years and the miles, and now it's time to start catching up on maintenance items like the brakes, which are not covered under warranty, especially the warranty's void now. But we got these things taken care of for him, and this will soon be gone. I definitely wanted to get a video before it's gone. I know you guys like these little VWs and things. Thinking about really cool cars. I just finished watching 2 videos, one of my friends, Video Bob. He did a DeLorean build in 1 week. He also talked about the DeLorean and a lot of the steps involved and how they make a lot of the parts and pieces. I was so impressed. I decided you guys need to click the link below. There's both links to both videos there. It is amazing. He did an excellent job on the videos. It goes through step by step and shows everything on a DeLorean time machine. He also does the Ghostbusters Ecto-1, Knight Rider, all the different cool movie cars. If you're curious what kind of tools we use in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. Get a small cut, and we appreciate that. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, you really should do that now. There's some really cool projects coming down the way.
Really? Really? Are we going to get back to the Chevelle?
Eventually, yes.
I hope so.
Thanks for watching.